warning that AI automation of the workforce is happening way faster than they first expected. They said it would happen slowly, but they were wrong. Automation is not coming, it's already here, and if you think your job is safe, you might have to think again. In just 5 years, millions of jobs, both blue collar and white collar, have vanished, quietly. Let's start with Amazon. Once the biggest employer in the world, since 2021 they've laid off over 100,000 workers, replacing them with over 750,000 robots. New robotic warehouses that used to need 3,000 people now run on barely 1,000. A 60% cut in human jobs per warehouse. And if you think that's bad, it's not just Amazon. In China, one factory slashed its workforce by 90%. 90%! They went from 650 people to just 60, and the production tripled. Apple's main supplier, Foxconn, wiped out 60,000 jobs in one factory alone, replacing them with machines. And trucking is next. With over 3.6 million drivers in the US alone, this is one of the most common jobs in America and all of the Western world. But self-driving semi-trucks are so close. They're already running test routes from Texas to Arizona. And experts in the field say that 4 million driving jobs will be wiped out by 2030. And every estimate they've had is ahead of schedule. And the desk jobs and office jobs, they're definitely not safe. Law firms are already using AI to write contracts and do legal research. One firm gave 3,500 lawyers an AI tool that does junior level work instantly and without any problems. IBM froze hiring people completely and plans to replace 7,800 admin roles with AI. In healthcare, AI now scans X-rays and detects cancer faster than any doctor. A third of all radiology departments already use it, and AI doesn't call in sick. And if all that wasn't dystopian enough for you, supermarkets are building dark stores, fully automated centers where robots do all the shopping. You don't even walk inside. Save Mart, Kroger, Walmart, they're all investing in these systems right now. And in China, over 1.7 million industrial robots are already in use. This isn't science fiction, it's not 10 years away, this is now. The job market is being completely rewritten in real time. Most people won't see it coming until it's far too late. Can a robot really do your job? And what happens next? Experts are now warning.
Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rachakodash. Yahweh is the true name of Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God. And Yahweh Shai is the true name of the Heavenly Father's Son, the Son of Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. I want to give double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone who I learned this truth from. And peace and blessings goes to the hopeful members of the elect, my brothers that are out on the highways pushing his word and truth and sincerity. I'm the brother Isaiah from GMS Los Angeles. And in today's lesson, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rachakodash. But in today's lesson, as you saw in the beginning of the video, of how AI is getting ready to take a lot of these people's jobs. And this is all part of Esau, the wicked elite's plan for the new order anyway. All right, to replace the workforce with robots and ultimately make the people that have no jobs, lost their jobs because of these AI robots, dependent on them. All right, because what's this gonna cause? All right, when they start, because right now they're doing a lot of these, you see over there in China they use a lot of robots. Guy mentioned at the end of the video about 1.6 million robots are already in use over there in China. All right, and people from China that come over here to America, they buy out these companies, they're introducing AI over here. And what do you think is going to happen when they introduce AI even more and more? Because we already see it happening. With self-driving cars, you have the thing called Waymo over here in the West Coast. Certain cities, you see these self-driving cars, man. you know, which is intentionally, you know, made to basically replace Uber and Lyft. You know, where a lot of people use Uber and Lyft to make extra money or use it as a full-time gig. All right, but ultimately those jobs like Uber and Lyft is going to be replaced by self-driving cars, which to Esau they claim is much safer, much better for their passenger than being with an actual person. You got self-driving cars. You have these robots that are delivering your food. Over here, I see them in Santa Monica, in Hollywood. All right, that's intended to replace what? People that survive off or use or, you know, work as Postmates, Uber Eats, Grubhub, DoorDash. All right, that's going to be intended to replace those, man. Which all those are like, you know, side hustles, side gigs. You know, hey, you're a blue collar worker. You think your job's safe? Well, guess what? There's AI robots that are already made that are going to replace your job. You're a truck driver? Well, guess what? Esau already has self-driving trucks over there in Texas. All right, self-driving trucks, man, semi-trucks are driving by themselves. You have a lot of truck drivers out there, man. And we've seen a lot of these layoffs. You know, and that's because, you know, part of it was with the economy. But these major companies like Amazon, Walmart, UPS, just to name a few, is getting ready to replace the people with AI. And what do you think is going to happen when people don't have no jobs? They can't pay their bills. You know, they can't afford groceries. They can't put money in put gas in their car. That's going to cause an uproar, man. And ultimately, that's what Esau wants. Esau wants a lot of chaos around the world. Esau wants uproars, you know, because that's going to be his reason to bring in that chip. Because Esau's ultimate plan is to get everyone chipped. Esau wants the people to be dependent on him. That's why ultimately he's going to get rid of the cash. Because when you're cash, you're kind of free. You know, if you got cash and you're on the run from the police, Esau can't really track you. As long as you got cash. As soon as you put your debit card at the bank and the FBI's on you, they already have the camera footage and the time and the exact location and of where you at. Well, with cash, they can't really track you. But what's gonna make it easier for the people Esau to track you is having a chip implanted inside of you. And this is where you might hear of universal basic income, where everyone gets a basic income just to get by. And while robots work, and you ready, you know, like I said, Esau shows you in these movies. You have what's that one movie? I didn't even watch it. You know, I just watched some of it and I got bored. Just like some new robots started work, were slaves for humans, and then eventually the robots rebelled and wanted rights and all that shit. You know, it may be a comedy or a funny movie, but hey, in that movie it showed you a lot of these robots taking these people's jobs, man, doing everything people do. All right, I got this. Let me bring out the scripture in Isaiah chapter 19, and I'll get to the point. Verse 15, it says, "Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do." Right? No work. It don't matter what type of work. What's your occupation? Whether you're in an office, whether you're a lawyer, whether you're a doctor, a nurse, a police officer. How many movies you see of AI robots being policemen? You know, that's not just for your entertainment, man. That's actually a message of what Esau wants to do. You know, brothers say this many times, man. It's actually what you see in these movies is what Esau really wants to do. That's like him playing out his imagination. All right. So it don't matter who you are. You could be a judge. You could get your job replaced by AI. AI could be a judge. AI could be a lawyer. AI could be a police officer, a doctor, a teacher. You already have a school, I think it's based in Arizona, that the students are being taught by AI, and they're like either Arizona or Texas. The students are being taught by AI, and in that school, are doing way better than regular students. So even the teachers are going to be replaced. So that's going to lead to what? There's going to be no work at all, man. A lot of people are going to lose their jobs. A lot of people are going to be unemployed. A lot of people are going to lose a lot, not just lose their jobs, but lose their house, their apartment, all that, because they can't pay. And what do you think that's going to do? That's going to cause sedition among men, uproars of the people. That's going to cause uprising. People are going to be fed up. All right, take their anger out in the streets, and there ain't going to be no peaceful protest, man. When you got nowhere to live and you can't find no job, shit, it's hard to find a job now. Well, based off this economy. That's why if you have a job right now, you don't like your job and you want another job, you better make sure that the job that you have is essential for as long as you can, you know. You know, you don't just make a hasty decision and just quit and go to another job, and because real soon it's just all about the plummet, man. You know, Esau's talking about bringing this to having this be done by man, like all this is part of Esau's plan, but his plan is not going to come to fruition, man. The Lord is going to ruin his plan. You know, Esau, you're not going to accomplish your desires. All right, whatever you desire, you're not going to accomplish it, man. All right, and what does Esau desire? To establish his new world order, where everybody's chipped, AI is running rampantly, man. This is how you know we're at the end. All right, this is how you know we're at the end. But let me get this in Job. Let's get this in Job 20. Because it's a head nor tail, man. So it don't matter what you do, what's your occupation in this world, there's going to be no work. You lose that to AI, the economy is just going to shit. People are going to just lose. When they lose their livelihood, man, people are going to lose it. This is Job chapter 20, verse 22. It says, in the fullness of a sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Right, so in the fullness of a sufficiency, when Esau is trying to accomplish his new world order, bringing in this RFID chip, all right, making people take it, all right, which in a way he's not going to force you to take it by tying you down, but he's going to kind of force you in a way of taking away your livelihood, or you can't work, you can't provide for your families, and that's the only reason people work anyway. To have a house over their head, you know, take care of the kids, the women and all that, you know, pay bills and all that. But when all that's taken care of, when all that's taken away and people have nothing to lose, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to take the anger and frustration out on the streets. All right, when you go to the word wicked, there in when you go to let's look up the word wicked in that verse. All right, so in the fullness of his sufficiency, which he's going to be in straits, he's going to have difficulty. You know, Esau thinks he got it all under control. Nah, man, you're going to lose it all. It's going to be total chaos, man. Your plan is not going to go out as you wanted. That's why your devils are going to be in hiding. All right, but the word wicked is the word aimal, which is laborer, sufferer, wretched one. Or who is the laborer? Us Israelites. All right, because you got Jake, man, that are working tooth and nail just to get by. You know, working 2 jobs, working all these overtime, all these hours, you know, doing laborers' jobs. Been at a company for years. Don't even think about leaving. But just imagine they just one day walk in work and they just lose their job to a robot. Not only lose their job, they lost their pension, their 401k, their retirement, their benefits. You know, you have jobs that may pay for your health care, you know. You just got to pay a percentage, you know, pay for you and your kids' health care. What do you think that's going to do to Jake? You know? But you already have frauded them. You devils already have frauded them, making them work till they're 67 to retirement, which is, you know, foolish. But just when Jake just loses everything, and Jake's gonna ultimately lose it, and he's gonna take his anger out in the streets. And not just Jake. These Edomites, man, too, are gonna lose it. They're gonna lose their mind when they can't go to work. When they gotta now know what it's like to live like an Israelite. Know what it's like to live like a black man, not knowing where they're gonna get their meal from. You know, you see all these like college athletes that make it to the NBA or NFL. They always talk about the struggle they had. You know, they had to share. They had to bathe at a gym. They had to use a generator as to get power. They had to share the same clothes. Well, a lot of Edomites are gonna know what it's like to live like that real soon, man. All right, so everyone is gonna be basically in trouble, man. Everyone's gonna go through it, even the rich. Even these Edomites that live in, over here in Cali, just to name some nice areas. Like right now, I'm in Pasadena. Like I'm standing in front of, I'm at this hiking ground right now, seeing a view. But behind me, there's this nice house. This guy, he's watching ESPN. I can look through his windows right now. You know, he watching ESPN, chilling. No worries in sight. He got a clean, nice grass lawn. Got a nice BMW convertible. Got a nice house. Some nice houses over here. All right? But real soon, these Edomites, you can't afford to live in that, man. You won't be able to sit down and watch TV comfortably. Because you could do that right now because you have no worries. But real soon, all the worries are going to hit you at once. All right? You Edomites, all you other nations that lived off Jake. All right? I'm talking about you average peons, you average Edomites. You're gonna feel it too. You know, Apostle Paul has been saying, you know, when we speak of Jacob's trouble, Jacob ain't gonna be the only one that's gonna be in trouble. It's gonna be Esau, these Edomites, these other nations. They're gonna be in trouble too, man. They're gonna suffer the collapse. They're gonna lose their jobs, man. You know, which is gonna cause a lot of uproars, a lot of riots, a lot of death. This is when the guns are gonna be brought out, man. All right, let's get Isaiah chapter. Since I read 19, I'm gonna go back to it, but let me read at the second verse. All right, so Isaiah 19:2 says, "And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom." All right, so there's gonna be a civil war. There's gonna be uproars. There's gonna be riots, sedition. All right. Nation against nation, race wars. You have different classes of wars. You're going to have people that are going to be fed up with the government and how they took everything away from them. So they're going to show their frustration by bringing out their own guns and trying to take out the government, man. Take out the governors, mayors, and all that, man. We're heading to some serious times. But this is what the elites want. They want all this chaos to ensue, because they're gonna come in with the solution. Now, I have this. Let me look up this clip for you, right? No, it's not clip. I'm gonna read this comment, right? I was reading this comment earlier. So, you know, it's good to. This first one says automation isn't a bad thing, and that's what you think, right? This is what we have worked to achieve for decades. The problem is that this vision was supposed to introduce universal basic income, right? Universal basic income, and that's what you hear amongst the World Economic Forum. They want to give a universal basic income where everybody ain't gonna be no middle class rich. Everyone's gonna get a basic income that for you to survive. But how you think you're gonna get that income? Is it gonna come into a check every week or month? You know, is it gonna come through a credit card? You know, they send you a card that you put in your PIN, and then they'll send money through there. No, it's gonna come in a way of your chip. In order for you to get this basic income, it's gonna be for you to get this chip. All right, so look up universal basic income. It says universal basic income from Google, right? UBI is a government program that provides regular, unconditional cash payments to all citizens, regardless of their income, employment status, or other factors. Now, we know they ain't going to be cash payments. It's going to be digital payments in a way of a chip. Don't send you a basic income in your chip. All right? Don't worry. Like, you know, like with the when the C-HIP, with 2020 happened and all that, a lot of people couldn't, lost their jobs, were unemployment. A lot of people lost their house, they couldn't pay their rent. But then, the governor of LA, they passed laws. They passed laws to, rent. No, not only. There was a law that they passed during that time. The landlord couldn't kick you out if you didn't pay rent. They couldn't just kick you out. So people were living basically rent free for a certain period of time. Esau could do something like that. Shit hits the fan. Everyone is suffering. All right, people can't pay their rent. They might pass a law like that, and then they'll introduce this chip, and they'll give you basic income, and they'll just slash all that, man. Who knows? We're just gonna have to wait and see what's gonna happen, man. They give you basic income for you to pay your rent, to pay your bills, to get food. It says the idea is to provide a basic safety net to ensure everyone has enough money to meet their basic needs. While no country currently has a full UBI system, many have implemented or are exploring pilot programs. Our UBI provides reoccurring payments, typically monthly or annually. All right. Arguments for UBI: poverty reduction. UBI can provide a crucial safety net for those struggling to meet basic needs. Economic stimulus: by putting money into people's hands, UBI can boost the economy. Reduce inequality. UBI can help address income inequality and promote a more equitable society, right? Making everyone the same. All right. Improve well-being. Some promotes argue UBI can improve mental and physical health, reduce stress, and increase overall life satisfaction. When a lot of Jake that's been going to work and tired of work, when you hear about getting paid monthly, you don't have to do nothing, a lot of Jakes is going to be willing to submit, man. A lot of Jakes is going to, all right, give me the UBI, give me that chip. We don't got to work. Then we got AI, robots that can do all the hard work and all the work for us. That's a dream come true to a nigga. All right? Not have to work and get paid. But you already have a lot of niggas living like that, man. Living off these food stamps and all that. Which all that's going to be cut off. In order for you to get those things, you're going to need what? That chip. All right, but that's just a little bit of information of UBI, basic income, and what Esau wants to give everybody. All right? It says, let's go back to the comments, letting us explore life while robots do the work. Now it's just making the rich richer. All right, which this guy seems like he'll be the first one in line to take that shit, man. Take that chip. All right, in the future, we're going to have a massive scale shortage because AI took all the entry-level jobs, but all the experts have retired or died. All right, but anyway, let's go back to the scriptures. All right, let me get the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 15. Verse 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their heads." Right, and that's referring to these to these guns, because what's a modern day sword? These guns, right? So a lot of these, when these people start to uproar and uprise, all right, when it become a sedition, when people lost everything, when all hell was breaking loose, people are gonna take matter into their own hands. These protests that we're seeing now, of them just holding signs and all that, these people are not just gonna hold signs anymore. They're gonna take their guns. They're gonna finally resort to their guns, because they gonna, that's the only way that they think the government's gonna listen to them. They're gonna take out by trying to kill the government. Like today, I just seen a video of a guy shooting at ICE, man. There was a protest going on, and guy just took out his gun and started shooting at them, man. So it's getting crazy. All right, but this is when you're still able to go to the grocery store, you're still able to work. How much when you can't do these things? How is these uproars are gonna look like? It says verse 16, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor prince, and the course of their action shall stand in their power." Right, man, because they're going to do what they want. They're going to do what they think is right. All right, you're going to have different classes forming together. All right, different class of people that have one belief of what they think how America should be run. And they're going to fight against another class that think differently. And they're going to have classified against the government. It's going to be all-out war on the streets of America, man. All right, while the men of the Lord sit back, because we understand why all this is happening. We can see what Esau is getting ready to do, man. But he's not going to accomplish it. He's not going to accomplish his new world order like you think he is. Okay? He's not. Let's go back to Job 20 and 23. It says this. It says, "When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fear of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating." So while Esau think that he's gonna accomplish his new order, when he's people getting chipped, all right, the Lord's gonna spoil his plans, man. All right, the Lord's gonna destroy America within 1 hour, which is basically like the capital of Esau's empire, Esau's world. Esau's the wicked elites are using America to push this new world order. Okay, but that's gonna be a big slap in their face when the Lord destroys America, man. We all know that the Lord is gonna destroy this place within 1 hour. So let's go to another scripture, Psalms 140. Let's see, 140 and verse 8. It says, Grant not, O Lord, the desires of the wicked. Further not his wicked device, lest they exalt themselves. Salah. And we already see, his plans are in motion, but they're not fully incorporated around the world. They're getting ready to. But we're already seeing the wicked exalting themselves, boasting of themselves, talking about their plans like they're going to do this, they're going to establish that by this year, but they're not. They're not going to establish anything. They're only going to get so far. The Lord's not going to grant their desires, man. All right, then the Lord's not going to allow Esau's wicked device is to come to pass, man. The Lord's only going to let them get so far. All right, so far is all Esau can go, and we already know this. So when we see all this thing play out, this is how we know that our salvation is near. All right, so with that, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rachakodash. Shalom.